These are the required points to express in your ad. Feel free to paraphrase and speak from your own experience. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So, it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And please make sure, this point, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Do you know the spelling of anchor.fm? ANCHOR.FM. Thank you for your listening. See you. Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time, what I'd like to talk about is that, do pawn jobs of blowjob in car make good money or not, which is what I'd like to talk about. I will tell you again, I have just stumbled. What I'd like to talk about this time is, do pawn jobs of blowjob in car make good money, which is the topic I'd like to talk about. So maybe if you're a man or if you're a man, you have seen porn videos of car blowjobs or blowjobs in cars. So which means the meaning of car blowjob or blowjob in car is the meaning of which is blowjob is done in car. That's it. So explaining the details of car blowjob or blowjob in car, inside what you see is it's the interior or the inside of a car in which a man. There is a man and there is a woman, and a woman sucks the penis of the man, and you see the scene of blowjob as a porn video, which is a porn video of blowjob in car, which is about what I'd like to talk about. So it's quite easy and quite popular in my country, at least in my country, and some people sell a lot of porn videos of blowjob in car. So in the case of a account I know, the person or the account the owner of account uses a Volvo luxury vehicle or Volvo luxury car, and that person or the owner of the account uses that luxury car, and its manufacturer is Volvo, and that owner has a lot of porn videos sold in a platform for selling porn contents, and that account deals with a lot of blowjob porn videos, and in each time or in each video, the same maybe the same Volvo car is used, and in each time different woman or different women sucks the penis of a man, and of course some woman appears, or some women are used, or some women come to the screen as a cast of those porn videos. Or what I'd like to tell you is that there's a woman who appears in some porn videos, which is what I'd like you to talk about. Some women appear, or some women becomes the cast of some porn videos, and in which case, each 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 woman appears some, two or more porn videos, which is the case to other accounts of the which is the case to other accounts or the other undertakers of porn videos. So anyway. So what I'd like you to know is that, maybe, some people may think with this information that, the account owner, or the owner of the account selling many porn videos of blowjob in car might be rich, or may be rich, because he or she has a luxury car of Volvo. But here's the thing, and what this is the point I'd like you to understand, that the point is that what you see is a fact, which is a conclusion. How should I say? This is a conclusion in this episode. What you see is a fact, which means if you watch a porn video of blowjob in car, what you see is that there's a man and there's a woman, and a woman sucks the penis, or a woman takes the penis of the man into her own mouth, and she sucks, and she massages, or she caresses the penis with her own lips, or with her own tongue, which is a fact you see, and such a blowjob is done in your car, which is a fact you can see through the screen when watching that porn videos. So of course, it's possible to guess that the account owner, the owner of the account, earns a lot of money, or has a lot of money, because that person, or that he or she sells a lot of porn videos of blowjobs in car. It's possible to speculate like that. It's possible to estimate like that. But please be careful that that the owner of the car, or the owner of the luxury car, might not be any of the casts in the porn videos, which is what I'd like you to know. Of course, so which means the owner of the luxury car, or the ownership of the luxury car might not be owned by even the owner of the account selling many porn videos, which means it's possible to use leased cars, or it's possible to rent cars, or borrow cars from a car dealer, for example. It's an option. Which means what you can see from the fact is that some people involved in the video making, or some people involved in the video capturing may like cars, which is a fact, or which is a speculatable, or expectable, or predictable fact. So generally speaking, cars are expensive. Every car is expensive. So it's necessary to pay taxes, and it's necessary to pay money for repairing cars, and it's necessary to pay money for gasoline in most cases, or if you have electric vehicles, or electric cars, for example, you have to pay money for the fuel, or for money of electricity necessary for charging the battery of electric cars, like which cars are kind of luxury stuff. So luxuries. So considering which, but cars are, how should I say, cars might be valuables for you, and considering which owning cars, people who can own cars might be rich. So nowadays, if they don't use cars for their own living, for example, for going to their workplaces, for going to for example, they go to they use car to go to go shopping, for buying necessary stuff in a supermarket, for example. In which case, cars are necessary for those people. For example, people living in rural area or people living in countryside need cars, which is the case, which is natural. But considering considering people living in urbanized areas, like for example, in my case, Tokyo, Osaka are urbanized areas, or the most one of the most dense areas in my country. So in which case, people do not have to own cars. Like which, you can expect that, the dealers of porn videos of car blowjobs maybe rich, because they sell a lot of porn videos of blowjobs in cars. But what if you'd like to know whether that porn video sales is earnable or beneficial, what you have to see is not what you have to see is not only the card, or not only the porn videos themselves, but also the financial data or financial sheet, which is what you have to check. So in this case, in this case, or in this episode, what matters is that whether benefit is plus or not, which means if you get money, there must be some cost. Or if you can do business without any cost, if you can do business with zero cost, that is good. But for example, if you'd like to make money with porn videos of blowjob in car, what you have to do is that you need to get revenue, but you have to pay money for example, you have to pay money or pay wage for casts, and you have to pay money for you have to pay money for the maintenance of cars, for example, and you have to pay money for cameras or video cameras you use, and moreover, anyway, you have a lot of money. You have a lot of payments if you capture or if you take porn videos of blowjob in car. So considering which, if considering which and considering the amount of costs, what you have to make is a benefit, and the benefit is calculated by revenue minus or revenue subtracted by the cost, by which you can get the number of the revenue. And if the number is minus, or if the benefit is minus, or if the benefit is loss, that business is collapsed, or that business is not established well, or that is not a decent business. So I don't recommend you continuing that losing business. I do not recommend you continuing that losing business. So anyway, what's the porn video, or what's the scene of car blowjob tells is the fact. Only the fact is what you can see through the scene of the porn videos of blowjob done in car. So, but what you have, the truth lies, or truth, or whether that business is earnable or not, lies where you can't see. The truth lies in the place where you cannot see, which is what I'd like you to understand. So going back to the original topic, was going back to the title, the porn videos of blowjob in car make good money. So it's up to business scheme, or it's up to business model. So which means, the fact is, what you see through the screen of porn videos is the fact. So, to know whether that business is earnable or not, what you have to know is the financial data or financial values of the business, or the financial data of the business scheme, which is what I'd like you to understand. So, in the case of the past, in the case of the account, I know. So maybe that account generates a lot of money, because that account has a lot of porn videos sold in the platform for selling porn contents, which is what I'd like you to know. So, but I said this. I think that account, or the owner of the account has a lot of money. But this is even this is my speculation, or even what I have just said is a speculation or guesswork. So please understand this. Please understand. So at last, so I mistakenly said do porn jobs or blowjobs in car make money or not. But actually, so what I wanted to tell you is it's not porn job, but porn videos. So at the beginning of this episode, I mistakenly said porn jobs, but actually correct word. The correct word I wanted to pronounce, or the correct word I wanted to say was porn videos, not porn job. Please make sure, or please remember this point. And this is all. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. This episode is over. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. If you'd like more information about the episode, please check out the description column of this episode. So in the description column, I give you some additional information about the episode you have just listened.